Help me, Mama.
Hi everybody, this is Emily for Help Me Mama. Today we're going to be talking about what to expect in months 4 to 6 with your new baby. If you missed the video on the first 1 through 3 months, that was my last video, so you can take a look at it. And let's just jump in. So the first thing I want to talk about in the 4 to 6 month stage is that your baby is a lot more active and alert. They're looking around, they're starting to see routines and what you do, and wanting to be a part of your family life a little bit more. So the first, and like I'll just, say it because I think it's obvious, but sometimes it needs to be said, that's a wonderful thing. That's wonderful. Your baby's personality is coming out and it's so exciting, so fun to play with them, and they're moving and they're starting to just get strong, those little baby muscles. So I just want to say it because if I'm talking about problems that arise, it might not sound like I'm being really positive, but it's a wonderful thing. So things that do come up are these here, and this is just like top 3. So the first one is distracted eating. At the 4 to 6 month stage, you might feel like, hey, I got nursing down, finally, or whatever it is. And then all of a sudden, your baby is just so distracted or not eating, and it could be the TV, it could be your other kids, it could be people around, or just a loud noisy place, it could be lights on the ceiling or a fan, but all of a sudden, because your baby is more active and alert, they cannot focus when they eat. So there are a couple of things that you can do about this. One is to sneak away, go into a little bit darker of a room, especially if you're trying to get them to go to sleep. Maybe use, a nursing cover or a blanket, cover them up so they're not so distracted. The other thing that you can do, especially if you're out and about, is since they're also going to be starting to eat more solid food, is that when you're out, try to schedule at a time where maybe they don't need to nurse so that they can have a little, applesauce or a little pouch. Those fruit squeezies are great. Or, bring a banana and a spoon with you. I could maybe do a video about foods for just starting to eat that are really easy and handy. So one of those problems could be distracted eating. The next one is that your baby's gonna have an increased need and desire to move. They're gonna be working those muscles. They're gonna wanna start sitting up, and they're going to be seeing, observing you and your husband and your family move around, and they're going to want to participate in that. And I think it is not eternally, but temporarily very frustrating for babies. And it comes out, you're not going to be able to know what they're thinking, of course, but this is expressed, I think, in a lot of crankiness, where for the first couple of months, they're very content to just sit and watch everything. They are no longer content. And you put them down, 5 minutes later, they're cranky and crying and wanting to be up. And you feel like you're holding them all the time, your arm, and now they're getting heavy. And sometimes, especially the first baby, it seems like a lot of times the first baby is a super chunk. And they're just so heavy, weighing you down. And they get so heavy so fast. And, I'm on number 3. So I have one, let me just, I wish my muscles showed, but I could carry that girl around for 6 hours a day. And it's, my muscles are used to it now, but when it was my first, oh my goodness, it was exhausting. And so I think that there's 2 sides of the coin of a solution to this problem. On the one hand, if you just put the baby down, you're like, okay, I need to put you down. I got to do some dishes. You do those dishes, and if they cry after 5 minutes or whatever it is, the tip I have from my mom to you guys is finish your task, as long as it's not an hour-long task, but say our dishes example. Finish the dishes. Do them fast, but let that baby cry for 2, 5, maybe even 10 minutes while they watch you, and they might even settle down. Now you can talk to them and entertain them, maybe give them a spoon to play with, but finish your tasks so you don't feel like your house is surrounded in half-finished tasks because you're always picking up the baby. Another thing that you can do to help your baby feel like they have a little bit more mobility is if you have one of those roller car chair things, you know, where you put the baby in it and then they can roll around. Those are great if your baby is strong enough to push themselves. My oldest loved that thing. My second, a little bit less. And Melly just got really frustrated in it because she wasn't strong enough. You know, she's so delicate and lovely that she liked being in it for a little while, but then she wanted to move and she couldn't get herself going. So if your baby's not quite strong enough to push themselves along, you could try a bouncer instead, something that they can sort of bounce in. And it depends on your budget. For Melly, it wasn't in the budget to get her a bouncer, so she just learned to crawl really fast. And that's kind of how she coped with the problem. So the other side of this is, one is help them, two is let them cry a little bit. But the other side of the coin on this is that they are going to be moving. They're going to be past this stage so fast. I mean, you're going to look back and think, where did it go? So I got very wise and just loving advice from a mom friend of mine at church. I asked her, what do? I'm holding my son all the time and he's so heavy and I've been told I need to put him down more. What do you think? And she said, you know what, Emily? I just hold my babies all the time. And I was like, you do? And I was kind of happy to hear it because that's what I wanted to do. And she's like, I know that you know, they can be really heavy, but this time is so short. And she had more kids, you know, than I did at the time and still does. But she said, this time is so short. Just cherish the time when they want to be held because they're going to be moving around and they're not going to want to be held forever. And especially as they get bigger. I mean, Owen is almost 4 now. And I wish he would let me hold him now. And he doesn't. I mean, he's big. He does let me hold him and snuggle him, of course. But not all the time like he was a baby. And I miss that time. So cherish it. Cherish your sore arm. And cherish that big, chubby baby that's weighing it down. And just hold him. Learn to do things one-handed. I always tell people, the day that I was nursing my newborn baby and had 2 toddlers at the kitchen table and I cracked an egg over the frying pan one-handed, I looked at my toddlers and I was like, did you see what I just did? I have arrived. I have arrived. You have no idea how awesome that was. But you adapt. I mean, you really have to do a lot of things one-handed if you take that philosophy, so just warning you. But it is a joy. The last thing, which is unrelated to the alertness, but is sort of a concern at this age, is the question, am I going to go back to work? And this can be heavy on a mommy's heart. I will just tell you my situation. I was working like 50 plus hours a week before my first son was born, and I did not want to go back to work that much after he was born. And I thought I could do 15 to 20 hours, and I ended up doing about that, but not with my original employer. They didn't want what I was willing to offer them anymore. And I had to make a decision that it was more important for me to be with him. And I gotta tell you, I have never regretted that decision. And I love being home with my kids. So as each kid came along, I worked less and less. But just know that, now the feminists are gonna get mad at me for saying this. I personally think, and I think biblically speaking, it is our job to be with our kiddos. They are our priority. I think, and I would think that most women would say this, that our children are our priority. So I think if you're not ready to go back to work full-time or part-time, you have to do what you think is right. You have to talk about this with your husband. It is a humongous decision. But let me encourage you, if you're feeling like, how are we going to make it financially? I know that feeling. I just want to tell you there are other avenues where you can stay home and work And I would definitely encourage you to look into those ways. My husband and I have started an eBay business, and we do all of our eBay, just as an example, after the kids go to bed. And so I'm working. I mean, we're working. Even this is, we're hoping that someday, not now, but someday, maybe our YouTube channel will make a little money for us. And so we're trying to think of short-term game, long-term game, but being home for me is the priority. I want to pour into their lives, and I don't want to just do that for the first 3 months of their life. Okay, so these are my thoughts. I know the feminists are going to come after me, right? They're coming! No, I'm just kidding. But, well, they probably are, right? So anyways, that is a big question at that time, because if you've put it off 3 or 4 months, now is the time to start thinking of, and even before, what am I going to do? And so if I was you list out your priorities. What is your, probably like being with baby. And then you want to put how many hours of the day. And then financial. How much money do I absolutely need to make? But maybe I can give up a little of what I used to make. Put that out on paper. Draw it up. What are the things that we need? What are the things that we want? And I'm just going to guess that baby is going to be at the top of the list and outweigh most everything else. And they should, okay? They should, and you know it, and you love it. You love it. So these are my 4 to 6 months issues to be thinking about, what to expect with baby. I hope this was helpful for you. Hope that I can be encouraging, and I just try to enjoy this time when your baby is tiny. Hold that baby close. Love the expression of their personality that's coming out. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. You can always subscribe, and definitely pass it on to a friend.
Help me, Mama.